Every Christmas, millions of us raise a glass to family, to peace, to the spirit of the season. Eggnog, mulled wine, spiced cider, drinks that warm the heart and fill the air with nostalgia. But once upon a Christmas, one of these innocent drinks led to chaos. Not laughter, not peace, but a full-scale riot. Picture it, snow falling on the Hudson River, the year 1826. Inside the prestigious West Point Military Academy, cadets are preparing for Christmas. But beneath the surface, there's tension, and hidden in the shadows, bottles of whiskey. That night, the drink we now call eggnog would spark one of the most shocking events in early American history. A night so wild, it would nearly destroy the academy itself. This is the dangerous Christmas drink that once sparked a riot. Before we dive into that chaotic Christmas Eve, we need to talk about the drink itself. Because eggnog wasn't born in America, it was imported chaos in a cup. The story begins in medieval England. A drink called posset, a thick mix of hot milk, eggs, and ale or wine, was used to toast kings, cure colds, and show off wealth. Only the rich could afford milk, eggs, and alcohol. So sharing posset at Christmas became a kind of brag, a way of saying, look how well we're doing this year. Fast forward to the 1700s. Colonists bring the recipe to America. But here they swap wine for something stronger, rum. In the colonies, rum was cheap, plentiful, and very, very strong. The drink quickly evolved, thicker, sweeter, and far more alcoholic. It became the holiday drink of choice. But by the early 1800s, things changed. Rum imports slowed. Whiskey became the new spirit. And suddenly eggnog, this cozy, creamy Christmas drink, carried the burn of rebellion. Because during this time, America was entering an era of discipline, reform, and military order. But whiskey didn't care about rules. West Point in 1826 was no place for fun. Founded after the Revolutionary War, it was a school designed to forge perfect soldiers, men of duty, honor, and obedience. Cadets woke at dawn, marched in silence, and most importantly, they were forbidden to drink. But Christmas was different. It was the one day a year when rules bent, just a little. The cadets could relax, decorate their quarters, sing songs, but alcohol still banned, and that's where the story begins to boil. Several cadets, young, restless, and far from home, decide they're not spending Christmas sober. So they sneak into town and smuggle whiskey back to campus. Not a little, not a flask, gallons. They hide the bottles inside their bedding, under uniforms, behind bookshelves. They plan to make their own version of holiday eggnog, secret, forbidden, perfect. But what they didn't know was that their little party would explode into one of the wildest nights in West Point history. It's December 24th, 1826, snow outside. Silence in the halls. The cadets light candles, mix milk, sugar, and nutmeg. And then they pour in the whiskey. One sip, then another. Laughter fills the dorms. They sing, they dance, they toast. For a while, it's harmless fun, until it isn't. By midnight, the drink has done its job. Voices get louder, footsteps stumble. Someone starts drumming on a desk. Someone else yells back. Then a crash. A bottle breaks. An officer, Captain Ethan Allen Hitchcock, rushes in, trying to restore order. He finds a room full of drunk cadets, and suddenly, his authority is gone. Back to your rooms, he shouts. But no one listens. The night turns violent. Windows shatter. Furniture breaks. 2 officers are attacked. Pistols are drawn. 1 cadet fires a shot, narrowly missing a commanding officer. This wasn't a party anymore. This was a mutiny. They call it the Eggnog Riot. And it lasts until dawn. When the sun rose on Christmas morning, West Point looked like a battlefield. Broken glass, spilled liquor, torn uniforms. Dozens of cadets, still drunk, passed out across the barracks. The commandant ordered an investigation immediately. Over 90 cadets were questioned. 20 were arrested and 11 expelled. One of them was a young man named Jefferson Davis, who would later become the president of the Confederate States of America. The Eggnog Riot wasn't just a drunken brawl. It was a national scandal. Newspapers mocked the academy. Critics said it showed the moral decay of the nation's youth. Others blamed the strict rules, saying repression had caused rebellion. West Point doubled down on discipline. Alcohol bans became stricter than ever. The academy's reputation barely survived. And that little cup of Christmas cheer? It became a symbol of how quickly joy can turn to chaos. After the riot, eggnog disappeared from West Point for decades. But outside the academy, it thrived. Because America has always had a complicated relationship with alcohol. It comforts, it celebrates, and sometimes it destroys. Every generation has its dangerous drink. Rum in the 1700s, whiskey in the 1800s, cocktails in the speakeasy era, even energy drinks and caffeine cocktails today, all part of the same story, the eternal tug of war between indulgence and control. And yet, despite all the chaos, eggnog endured. It survived prohibition, it crossed oceans, it found its way into family kitchens and Christmas movies. Now when we pour it into a glass, thick, sweet, creamy, we're sipping on centuries of rebellion, luxury, and survival. We think we're drinking nostalgia, but really, we're drinking history. So, next time you sit by the fire, eggnog in hand, remember the night it nearly burned down West Point. Remember the cadets who risked everything for a taste of forbidden cheer. And remember that behind every holiday tradition, there's a darker story waiting to be told. Because history isn't just made by kings or generals. Sometimes it's made by young men, a few bottles of whiskey, and one dangerous Christmas drink. I'm your host, and this is the Food Timeline, where every bite and every sip has a past.